right, happy Tuesday, everyone. Well, it's official. So, with the help of the FBI, the Democratic Party just endorsed Donald Trump for President of the United States. Well, hold on. But I wonder if the president will profoundly accept the nomination for President of the United States.
I profoundly accept this nomination for President of the United States.
It's happening. Yeah, that raid was a real smart move. You want to take a larger-than-life character and make him even larger? You raid his frickin' house. Basically, they just gave Popeye a 55-ounce can of spinach. They just gave Hunter Biden a brand new crack pipe and a high-speed internet access. They just gave me a book of 1001 poop jokes. Because the raid not only angers Republicans, it energizes them, and it energizes Trump. And unlike all the other shows, we actually have tape of the raid. Now, the raid is it's wrong, but you got to keep your sense of humor on this for a reason. Part of the strategy of the raid is to get you to react so that they can then cover your anger as danger. The press has already sounded the alarm over the rage on pro-Trump message boards. They're ready to go, they say, as if you're going to commit acts of violence. So don't get mad. Instead, sympathize. The Dems want Trump back, and for good reason. They can't survive without him. They are drowning, and he is their oxygen. You know, they're just too boring and uninspiring. If Trump's filet mignon, Democrats are warm tapioca. Maybe it's because their current leader's brains are warm tapioca. So, they'll do anything to keep the spotlight off him. I mean, can you blame them? This guy gets into fights with his own clothes. Roll it, Pedro.
This is sad.
Oh my God.
Wait, there's more. Hold on, wait
for it. Give him time. He'll remember where the arms go someday. Thankfully, it was a jacket and not his pants. But it's also kind of scary when it takes mere seconds for Joe to forget that he just shook someone's hand.
Now our great speaker, our partner who...
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. My God, no wonder they hide him like a cold sore at a kissing booth. What gives, Joe?
Leave me alone. I like ice cream. Come on, man. I got a chocolate chip.
Of course, while much of the country will be pissed off over the raid, the left embraced the news like it was a box of Kleenex at a sperm bank.
Tomorrow is the day when you're going to want to buy the physical copy of the newspaper. You're going to want to buy it and fold it carefully.
No one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United States.
This is a night where you are going to remember where you were.
He also has the lying advantage. The government's not going to lie, but Donald Trump will lie profusely.
Right. And the fact that people, weak people, are running around going, oh, what are we going to do? They're saying ugly things on Fox News. Like, what do you expect? Like, this guy's going to be brought to justice. He's broken the law. Everybody knows that.
Well, hip, hip, hooray for tyranny. And this from people who do nothing but whine about how our democracy is under assault. What absolute jerk-offs. So if the raid is about classified documents, then you didn't need a raid at all. But like Biden's son, they also know what makes for exciting video. And as Andy McCarthy points out in the New York Post, it's likely the White House is pressuring the Justice Department to link Trump criminally to January 6th. Sadly, the FBI seems like another institution polluted by politics. Except unlike college lefties, they punish you with arrests, not by spelling your name wrong on your latte. They investigate some people, but not others. I could go through the list, but you've heard it. At least on this network you have. If they were any deeper in the swamp, they'd have alligators for baby mamas. That's disgusting. And especially after pushing the Russian collusion hoax, how can you give them a pass on this now? I mean, they show up at the house, they go through all of his stuff, including his safe, which is why I don't have a safe. Oh. I keep everything in between my mattress and box spring. Thank God that doll is easy to inflate. Some levity. But it seems like all of our institutions are imploding like a Twix bar in Stacey Abrams' back pocket. Maybe it's due to wokeism or anti-Trumpism or plain old elitism. It's a far cry from the good old days when they knew to keep politics at bay. And if they don't come out with one major smoking gun from that raid, and I mean major, like a video of Trump French kissing Putin or Don Jr. with Pelosi in a headlock as Eric rifles through a purse, then they're going to have a country that's more pissed off than R. Kelly after 2 quarts of Snapple. It's disgusting. This isn't a policy decision. This is a former president's house being raided. Can you imagine doing this to Obama or Biden in a few years or Hillary? Come to think of it, they should raid her place in Chappaqua just to find evidence if Bill's ever been there. We know he likes to leave DNA around. Oh, cross the line. The FBI, it seems, thinks they're the country. And they're not. They're not even a third world country, despite their banana republic antics. America right now is a beautiful car whose steering keeps pulling to the left. And the engine light has come on for the 10th time, and they've run out of electrical tape to hide it. We know there's a problem under the hood. It's all these supposedly neutral institutions having now chosen a team. It would cost us too much to get a whole new car, but we should at least replace the drivetrain in a couple of months. Last night's raid was just another example in a pattern of one-way persecution, where they pay you a visit, and it's up to you to prove your innocence. It's the same mentality with the IRS agents. Hey, if you don't cheat, you have nothing to hide. So who will they go for next? Maybe you, maybe me. All I know is in preparation for the raid, I've moved my collection of adult-oriented Beanie Babies out of the house. Some people wouldn't understand. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She never blunders when she hosts Outnumbered, host of the Faulkner Focus, and outnumbered co-host Harris Faulkner. His pronouns are he and his, but his scrub says daddy. Vice President of Public Relations for Z Labs, Chris Barron. She's like a doormat, thin, welcoming, and often found laying on your porch. Fox News contributor, Kat Tibb. Finally, he wanted to be a football kicker, but they kept running out of balls. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrus. So, Harris, I'm sure you've been talking about this a lot. What is your, do you think the story is about classified documents or something else going on?
Well, if it were about classified documents, then those that he had already handed over, whether he knew they were in those boxes or not, would be part of the argument. Well, then you keep talking about how to get more of whatever is there. Mm-hmm. But per Griff Jenkins, one of our correspondents here on Fox News about an hour and a half ago, reported that according to Fox News sources, the negotiations of some sort had broken down, and that's why they got the warrant.
It's that, but that's like going nuclear.
But that sounds like something that they could simply say out loud without jeopardizing the case.
Yeah.
I mean, the DOJ is a mess right now.
No,
and stayed silent all day.
Yeah, if this is a screw up, it's one of the biggest screw ups of all time, and I include your jacket shirt combo, Chris.
This is beautiful. Are you kidding me? I know you're jealous. I know you're jealous. I'll dress you next time.
Supports me on this.
Solid.
What do you? I mean, here's the thing. you should be angry about this, but if you get angry, then you fit into their mode. Ha ha, they're angry. What's next?
Well, yeah, there was a Boston Globe article that came out mid-afternoon that was like the right-wing anger and violence brewing, which is of course what they want. Here's the thing that drives me the craziest about this. All these people who says we have to give the DOJ and the FBI the benefit of the doubt. Absolute. If you're going to cross this line, if you're going to raid not just a former president, but the chief political opposition, the guy who's most likely to be running against Biden in 2024, the FBI and DOJ have an obligation to come out and say, what the hell is going on? Why was this necessary? Why did they cross this line? We shouldn't be sitting here guessing like, oh, is it over documents? Is there something else going on? If you're going to cross this line, you better come forward and you better make it clear there was a damn good reason to do this.
This is not normal. It's not normal. Kat, I mean, do you ever worried about getting raided? Anything? I mean, why should we? Like, now you have to think about that. Because they raided a president. That means they do you.
Some of us have always been thinking about it. I mean, hearing all these people talk about the concerns about too powerful of law enforcement agencies federally, libertarians are over here like, yeah, like we've been talking about that. And if you are concerned about federal law enforcement agencies potentially being politicized, then you shouldn't stand for giving them the kind of power that makes that possible. I've seen a lot of Republicans today talk about those concerns who are, Republican politicians who are the same people who, for example, repeatedly voted to repeatedly reauthorize the Patriot Act. So I hope that there's something to be learned from this in terms of seeing what can happen, regardless of what side you're on, when these agencies have far more power than they should.
Would you be okay with disbanding the FBI?
I think the FBI has far too much power, far too much power.
Yeah, and I mean, I will admit that I am probably one of the people that you're talking about in the sense that, thank you. No, I mean, it's like, now they're using the Patriot Act or their authority to track down citizens in the United States.
Oh, you mean like parents at school board?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, Tyrus, what are your thoughts on this?
I love this.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. This would get me hyped. I'd be outside, I'm not clapping like, all right, game on. Okay. You got nothing. You ain't got the bookkeeper, you got nothing.
Yeah.
I'd have fun with it.
Yeah.
I got the best lawyer. You'll be FBIing in Alaska when I'm done. I'd find every cliche from every movie. We've been there. We've done this before. You had me on Russia. Remember, it was Joan of Arc Behar came on and said, we have the papers and we got them.
Yeah, we got them.
We got them. They got nothing. So this is, again, you've inspired. You have to look at things. I love spite. I like spite stores. I have a spite career. We're going to have a spite president. I couldn't be happier. You go into my house, you try to embarrass me. The man who cannot be embarrassed.
Yes.
It's so true.
Well, and Trump ran for president because they said Obama made jokes about him.
One joke.
Yes.
At a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be president.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Yeah.
you rung the bell, game on. He's fired up. So I'm going to sit back and just watch. There might be a spite position for me in this. I love. So, yeah.
So tonight, Representative Jim Banks and about a dozen other Republicans are meeting at Bedminster, right? And I'm just wondering, as you talk about it, I mean, that is a galvanizing point. Maybe they didn't agree on policy, and maybe they haven't agreed, but I mean, he legitimately now has brought more people together just because he wasn't home.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing. That's all. I mean,
do you think they would have done this had he been standing there? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Listen, I would have been worried if Nancy Pelosi didn't come out and say, no one's above the law. For real?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Stock trade?
I don't remember the president getting the DUI and destroying somebody's car and not being charged.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The other funny thing about
How's
Nancy
those stock options?
Nancy Pelosi, what did she say? Presidential documents should be preserved. I think, wasn't she the one that tore up Trump's speech?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like I said, it's all good, man.
Well,
And by the way,
Spike 24.
And by the way, Greg, it's entertaining to me watch the left defend the FBI. This is the same FBI that tried to destroy Martin Luther King.
Yep.
They spent years wiretapping him, trying to set him up, sending him blackmail letters. They are saying the FBI, you can't even question them. And the FBI has a long history of being used as political pawns.
Yeah. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.